Hey lovelies, how are you? I'm trying to remember, today is Wednesday, midweek. You know when you have 50 million things going on at the same time and you're like, where am I? Yeah, that's kind of where my brain's at. So just giving you guys a lovely warning. Hi, it's so lovely to see you. Come on in. Make yourselves all comfy with your cups of tea or your cups of coffee or glasses of wine. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to say some shout outs. Ula's here. Ulal's here. Carolyn's here. Evil Regal Kaylee. Carlos, I see. Emma Esbecker. Emina. Erica's here. Sweet Paria. Ali Girl 7. Oh, it's so good to see you all here. I could just do shout outs for the whole morning, but we've got to crack on. Busy day today. So I'm just going to crack right on and go through my bullet journal lists with you lovelies. Today is the 25th tea session of Tea with Karen. I can't believe we're at number 25. Lovely number 25. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. You guys make it so special, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. You guys are pure sunshine. Lots happening out there in the world. 6 weeks for my dearest American friends until the big election comes up. Please check that you have all voted. I'm cheering you on. Please check that you've all registered to vote. See the brain already. Registered to vote. I did post in my stories yesterday, and I will continue to post. If you text in caps voter to 26797, they will send you so much information from I Am Voter. You can give them a follow on here on Instagram, I Am a Voter, and they will send you loads of information on where to register. It literally only takes 2 minutes. Just know that your voice is so powerful and needed. For those of you who have just turned 18, yay! I'm so excited about today's youth. They are so woke. They are on it. They're aware. Their awareness is so truly inspiring. And it just gives me so much faith in the future. So congratulations for those of you who will be voting for the first time. I'm cheering you on. You guys can catch up on Tea with Karen on my website, teawithkaren.com. Still updating all that's happening. So more to come there. And next week, I'm waiting to hear back from a certain someone who you all love dearly. We're trying to make sure we can align our schedules. I think now, because we're all gearing back to going to work, I'm going to probably have to move the Tea with Karens to weekends. So bear with me. I'm aiming and I'm hoping we can do next weekend. I'm just checking with her to see if next weekend works. So I will keep you posted. Otherwise, I might need to take next week off because of work stuff. So I will keep you posted. So just stay tuned and I will stop babbling now. Okay. Speaking of which, because I'm going to be on the road for a little bit, I posted about my Rover. So a big shout out to @Rover, ROVR products. They were so kind to send me a Roller 60 because, you know, in this pandemic and this new norm, traveling on the road especially, you want to keep everything, all your goodies, your healthy food and snacks and all that, and Milo's food too, nice and cool, and chilled and fresh. So they were so kind to send me that, and they were also really kind to allow me to offer you guys a discount, 15% discount. So if you use the code KD15 at Rover Products, check their coolers out. It's just amazing. Punctureless tires, and they've got, I can speak, and and it retains ice for 7 to 10 days. That's amazing, especially when you're on the road. So I'm very excited. So you'll be seeing in my stories pictures with my beloved rover, because I am truly in love with it. It's so cool. What else? Catalina Film Festival. Thank you to all of you who have purchased tickets to see our short film in Hollywoodland. If you haven't yet and you want to, the festival is running virtually until September 27th. You can log on to catalinafilm.org and tickets are available over there to watch in Hollywoodland, and also a plethora of so many wonderful films by many talented filmmakers. They're also doing, if you're in LA, they're having a carpool cinema in Long Beach, which sounds like so much fun, on the 26th, and tickets are available there as well. Other than that, October 11th, Fear the Walking Dead. Save the date, pretty please. It's going to be a really epic and very dark season, so I hope you lovelies will tune in for our season premiere on October 11th on AMC. I am so excited today. I am having tea with some fantastical, multi-talented, empowering, inspiring, lovely women, actors extraordinaires, Broadway queen, voice from heaven, Gabrielle Ruiz, and actress, producer extraordinaire, lovely Pallavi Sastry. Together they have a podcast called WAF, depending your accent, WAF. So What Are Friends For, which they're going to tell you guys more about. And today, actually, my interview with them, our chat today. Oh, Mila says hi in the background. I'll chat with them. I'll chat together. I can speak. See, this is what's happening. 50 million things happening at the same time. Deep breath. Our chat together is so wonderful, and it comes out today. So I will post those details for you guys too. It must be the mailman. That's the only thing I can think of. Can you hear him? I'm going to bring these wonderful ladies on, and you can follow their podcast here at WAFF podcast, or one word. Gabrielle Ruiz, you can follow her at GABRIELLERUIZ. There they are. And I'm going to get to Pallavi at Pallavi, PALLAVI Sastry. Hi.
Look, Ankita's here. She made it. Harriet's here. Yay!
Yay!
We have
Oh my
here.
gosh, you ladies look gorgeous.
Girl, thanks for letting us be inspired to put on makeup today and brush our hair. Honestly.
That's right.
I even did a Carrie Bradshaw tease ponytail.
You've always looked fab though, with or without makeup. Look at you.
Thanks.
And look at the fairy lights, guys. This is so calming. Do you understand? You know, I have that crazy brain right now because it's kind of like getting everything together because we're going on the road soon, and it's like, well, you know what it's like to have.
How's packing going?
Overwhelming. And
don't pack too much because you got to make room.
This is a girl after my own heart. Both of these women right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, monk fruit sweetener.
This is our own choice of a personal ad. They did not sponsor this moment.
That's right. That's right.
And see, because these ladies know that I'm a big fan of monk fruit, and you guys who are watching know that I made a big life change by cutting sugar out. So I did my physical, when was this, last year, and I had slightly elevated sugar levels. So my doctor was like, Karen. And I was like, you can't lie, right? Because your blood tests say everything.
Right.
So I can't even lie. So monk fruit sweetener has changed my life. Mm-hmm. And I find that my energy levels, we're talking pre-pandemic.
For sure.
But pre-pandemic, really alert and just suffer so much from brain fog just by getting rid of sugar. So anyway, so cheers to that, and I love you. Thank you for my bag. I'm looking
Of
Yes.
course. My drink of choice today is a iced chai,
I love it.
and I carry.
Tell them why, because
Well, because remember we talked on your episode of What Our Friends, our dogs are here too. On your episode, we talked tea. It was all about tea, and my lipstick color was called chai, and so now I'm drinking a chai.
I love you. Your attention to detail, see, girls after my own heart. How are you, lovelies? How's everything going?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We get to be together this week. It was nice. We had some things to like videotape together. We've been quarantining together since your birthday.
Yeah. It's been a couple of months now, so we were like, wow, we saw each other in person twice this week.
And that's a big thing when you're.
It's a big thing, and it's like so rare. Like I think I've seen probably more this week than the last 6 months. So we're actually going to go to lunch after this. I mean, why not?
Oh my gosh. And if I'm taking a couple of steps backwards for a second, your friendship, you both met on the job playing best friends in Disney's High School Musical live on stage. Okay, I need to know more details about this. I don't know what to love more, the fact that you guys were playing best friends anyway, but then in High School Musical live on stage. I need all the details.
Well, it was the hot ticket that summer, because every major regional theater in the States was producing it. And so we were like, well, I want to be in the hot ticket show. And so we just really, I think we were very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. And, that's how we met, was playing Friends. And we have a better story that goes along with that, but I'll let you add on.
Well, we have like phases of our friendship that kind of grew to 2020. So that was like 2007. And then there's some photos of like us signing like autographs to all these kids in the back. And like, it was like, of course, we were the stars of the show. And then we then didn't reconnect until New York, and we saw each other like at a street fair, and we had nothing to say to each other. We were just like, how's work? And like friendship was like not legit. And then we finally got over ourselves.
You know how that goes, right? Like you run into people at events and you're like, how's your show? Like,
and why is it always then about work? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know.
And that's
I agree.
we could talk about, but just how it's so easy to place our identities.
Yes.
What we do.
Yeah.
And I think there comes a moment in our journeys where we're like, well, wait, hang on a second. Who am I outside of that?
Outside,
like,
your
really?
identity crisis.
Yeah.
You know? It's a professional identity crisis. And that was my 20s. That's our phase of our 20s. And then we became friends working together in a very different way with like health and wellness.
Right.
And we actually had other things to talk about than just theater and television. Both moved to Los Angeles around the same time, and here we are making a podcast about something that is not about work, which makes us so excited because it gets off of our own selves and our own stresses. We have something else to talk about, and it's about platonic friendships.
Right.
Yeah, which is so, and let that be the theme and celebration of today's tea session, is the gift of friendship, because goodness knows, I don't know where any of us would be without these, these low maintenance friendships. And we talked about that on
Yes,
it's
It's part of our WAF index is what we call it. You have made the index. Congratulations. It's True Blue Friend, and that will be posted as a vocabulary word on our grid of our Instagram on WAF Podcast.
Yeah, but it's so true. I think we realize, like we talk about often, that you have like proximity is your like easiest excuse for why you're friends with people when you don't have that. And like the pandemic is also a great example of that. It's like, are you going out of your way to tell people you love them and that you need them and that you need to talk to them and see them? And you know what I mean? You can't really take that for granted, because like in school, you're in school, so you see your friends at school. You're just put in situations where like proximity is like just making it easy.
Yeah.
And then you just, when you're in your late 20s into your 30s and adulthood, you just have to work harder at them.
Yeah. Because life happens too.
Yeah.
We go through different milestones in our lives, and life just gets so busy. And I think I was talking on our podcast too, episode, was my friendship with one of my dear friends, Dominique, and I've known her since I was 6 years old. And just to even to have a friend for however long, but to be there to witness your journey and to help you whenever you need to navigate through this roadmap called life, I just think is such an honor, like to be able to do that for each other, and just, it just feels like yesterday that we were playing Red Rover. Remember we were talking about that Red Rover, and now she's a mom, and and it's so crazy. It's so crazy just to see all these, the ups and downs and twists and turns of our journeys, and yet we're still there for each other. We still like each other. We still put up with each other, our isms and everything. We still accept each other's flaws and everything, or we call each other out, and I just think if you can have such authentic and transparent friendships like that.
Have you ever called me out?
I think it's more of like a, hey, hey, can I say something? Like, that's how I do things. Whenever I
What
feel
about
like,
me?
have I done that though? That's not, I don't know. I don't feel like I have a big list for you. So if I have, then it's usually prefaced because I don't want to offend people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I need to like talk about something that's bothering me, I was like, hey, I need to say something. It's like, hey, I don't want to, is this okay if I just need to vent? Like, and if it's about them, then I'll be like, please don't be upset, but I need to say this thing,
Yeah.
I had someone call me out when I just moved from New York to Los Angeles, and she was like, this whole New York vibe has got to stop. I made her cry over like sneakers.
Yeah. Oh,
And I mean, I took it like, I was like, listen, I mean, it's probably true. New Yorkers are like, in comparison to like Los Angeles, the vibe is very different. The energy is a little more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, us, both of us transitioning at the same time, we both kind of chillaxed all at the same time, but are still New Yorkaholics in Los Angeles.
That's right. That's right. We still hustle very, very much in the same way.
Oh, but I love you. I always thought that I had this dream that I thought, from drama college in London, if I'm lucky, I'd love to go and move to the Big Apple and experience all that it is. Because there's so many similarities between New York and London, big cities, busy, so much to do and see. Like you always, I don't know, you can almost smell opportunity in the air, but you can also smell like the good struggle, like the good fight, the paying your due thing that you have to do in a positive, constructive way.
Yeah.
But there's something so inspiring about that.
I'll tell you though, I couldn't have coffee there. I only had tea in New York because I was just so on overdrive with the energy of the city that I literally would just have like my heartbeat was like up my neck. And so I would have tea, but now that I moved to Los Angeles, coffee's come back. It's been great.
And you're quite the coffee connoisseur, aren't you?
I'm pretty like, I mean, define connoisseur, like, or am I like I'm more of like a home coffee person than like I go out and get coffee. I feel like my cup of coffee, like one good cup with my coconut creamer, a little dash of sugar. That's all I need. Like, I don't keep drinking coffee throughout the day. I can't do that.
No. And it's the same for me, actually. I don't drink coffee because I need it. I drink it because I really just love it.
See, so I really should have called this Coffee with Karen.
No.
I had my one coffee today. So I went to the chai. I went to the tea.
It's okay. You could have coffee, or my husband and I have this battle. He comes on to these tea sessions and he says, no, it's coffee with Carl now. So it's
ambush takeover.
It's always tea versus coffee, which one's the better one? So it's fine. I feel like whatever makes you happy, some of our European followers who are tuning in from Europe, they're having a glass of wine now. So, because it's right? So that's a cup of tea. So it's fine.
I have to say, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but like the quarantine life of like, well, I mean, I'm home, so can I have a glass of wine right now? I mean, it's 1:00.
I know, right? It's
gotten better. It's been 6 months of like, okay, get it together, Ruiz. Like get it together.
Yeah. And I had my annual physical just the other day, and and knowing that that was coming up, I was like, oh, I've got to be really good. I've got to make sure I'm drinking those water, taking my vitamins, thinking that, oh yeah, in a week I can make a big difference. What's gonna come out? And do you find that when you go to the doctor's office for your annual and they've got to weigh you, you're like, I didn't time this well. It's that time.
Oh.
It's that time of the month. So I know we're holding excess fluids and everything. And and it's so silly because it's just you're just getting weighed. But it seems to matter because it's like, oh no, this goes down on record.
Well, I think it feels differently we feel it differently because like we do take so much time and energy and effort. It's part of our job to like maintain what we look like and all that stuff. So like, but you're beautiful. Don't worry about it. I don't think like, I think, but that was something I would truly stress out about, especially when I got pregnant. I was like, how am I already, 5 pounds? I was like, well, I'm literally making another life.
I'm making hair follicles right now. You know what I mean? Listen, the way I learned or I conditioned myself to not care at the doctor's office, here's my hack, here's my tip, is keep your sneakers on. Who cares?
That's true.
Just keep your sneakers on. I have one pair of slacks that are like my audition pants because usually when you go in for the DA, you go in for the cop, you go in for this, like it's that one pair of pants. Yeah. That's what I like wager it by, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should lay off a little bit just for myself. It's not for anyone else; it's for myself. But that's how I not care at the doctor's office. I leave my sneaks on.
Yeah. Okay,
maybe hold my purse.
See, because I took my shoes off and I was trying to find clothes that weigh nothing. So that it wouldn't add, like if I wore my heavy jeans and I'm like, oh no, that's gonna add a pound. And if I wear, so I tried to wear like a summer dress, but then the summer dress, there was so much of it that probably
it means nothing for your overall health. It means like nothing for your overall health.
Thank God it really doesn't. I mean, thank God it's changed the society of loving your body in a very, very, I think not a different way, but the right way. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, like even in terms of friendship also, like I've made it a point to just like, if somebody like, says that, so my instinct now is like, if you say, oh, I didn't, I wasn't ready to weigh myself. I was like, you are freaking beautiful. All right. Like, and I sometimes I can get a little intense with it, but it's because I'm also trying to retrain myself into thinking that it's not a bad thing to like just relax and have, a cuppa or a glass of wine at 2:00, Yeah.
And this is so important to be transparent about and chat about, especially during this pandemic, because look, there is nothing normal about what we're going through. And good days we don't, and some days we don't have such good days. Sometimes we want to comfort eat a bit. And on other days we don't want to eat at all. So it's just like this roller coaster or corona coaster, they call it, of emotions. And I think it's just kind of being open and honest with yourself and holding yourself accountable, saying, okay, I did maybe have this, maybe I had that extra half a tub of ice cream or whatever. Let's maybe find another way that we can, make ourselves feel better. You did it for one day, fine. Don't do it too much. It's just trying to hold yourself accountable with patience, love, and understanding. I think is so important for me. And I should add, because it's important, because I know we have a lot of young viewers watching too, is that my concerns about, going on the scales. Okay, yes, a part of me is like, yeah, because what we do, being in front of the camera, you want to look good. But for me, it's about, I need to be at my healthy weight and make sure that these goals are being met. Otherwise, my doctor, who I love dearly, will call me out. And I love her for that. I love her for that so much, because I feel like as each year goes by, our bodies are constantly evolving and changing. And I feel like as each year goes by, I'm like, okay, what is it now? And it's always after my birthday. I'm like, okay, what are we changing now? Is one boob going to droop a little more down? Like, what do I need to do with it? Like what? Or is it my, like you start to notice these things. Yeah. But then I always send love to my body, saying, look, we're not perfect, and that, thank God, and that's okay. But let's just do things that will keep us healthy, because that's so important. And if we've learned anything throughout this pandemic, especially, is that health is wealth.
Yeah, I agree. When was your birthday?
April 15th.
When is your birthday?
It's on tax day. See? And I had no idea. It's only when I came to America, I was like, oh yeah, my birthday's April 15th. They're like, oh, tax day. I'm like, wait, what? They're like, it's on tax day. I was like, no. They said, well, it's kind of good because no one will forget, but it's on tax day.
It's on tax day.
So then I went to look it up to see if there was any other some other wonderful event that could that happened on this day that could take away from the fact that it's tax day. And it only just got worse. It was the day the Titanic sank. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, this blows. This is not cool.
I think we had another one of those unfortunate things that we talked about on the show, actually, because you were like, well, my name is just so unfortunate right now. You're like, Karen. Oh no, my name is Karen.
Like every time when I'm making a call, or if I have to file, like, what was it the other day? What was it? It was customer service with an order. I had ordered a piece of furniture and it never showed up, and I was charged for it. So when I called and they say, what's your name? I'm filing a complaint. And I'm like,
I'm like, sorry.
Literally now, it's like, but then I said, no. This is the name that my mama gave me out of love. And I said, no. So I said, I've got to say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. I wasn't mad at them. I just said, look, I know this isn't your fault personally, but you guys kind of charged me for something that never arrived, and I'm hoping that you can fix this for me. So it's really how you say it. But yeah, I'm very aware that,
Oh no, but obviously we didn't think about it, because we were talking on the show, and we were just like, oh, you know what? We don't even associate that with Miss Karen Davy because she's just so lovely, and it's just so hard to do anything but love you. So
it's very true. It's very true. And I feel bad for the birthday people for leap years, like the February 29th people. Like, do they count their age every 4 years, or do they just like not have a birthday? Like, it's like one poison or the other. You know what I mean? Like, they have to pick, I guess. But then I only know like 2 people that's birthdays on leap year, and that just would be a bummer.
I just feel like maybe when they get older, they'll be like, well, hang on a second. I'm technically 4 years younger.
Like a quarter, like, what is it? Like, would they be 3/4 younger?
Yeah. Well, I guess a quarter of their life would just be like
non-existent.
I like that. I kind of like that. But as a kid, you just want to be like every other kid and have a normal birthday. That almost is like the kids who have birthdays at around the holidays.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. I'm on December 12th. And December, here I go.
She's very, very, very sour about it.
I'm very sour about it. To the point that here are the 2 strikes against my birthday. I just have to interrupt you, Karen. I'm so sorry. This is my torch and my burden to carry and to have tea over. Okay, so my birthday is December 12th. One positive is it's La Virgen de Guadalupe for the Catholics out there. It's a big, like, Virgin Mary Day. Yeah. So I went to Catholic school for 2 years, and I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to Mass on my birthday. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And then that's usually the week getting older into school. It's the week of finals. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your birthday. And then it's the week where everyone's like out of school. You're like, oh no, I have to start shopping for Christmas. Christmas is coming. And then that's all I have.
That's it. She just wanted to
do you end up having, because my nephew was born on December 20th. And I remember
that's my sister's birthday.
Really? So they would be, so you guys, has it ever happened to you where you have birthday and Christmas presents amalgamated? So it's like one
for gift. All of my life. Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you so much for bringing it up, because it was, here's your Christmas and your birthday present, and you and your sister's birthdays are so close, 8 days apart. You guys kind of have like, you get the red version of the gift and you get the blue version of the gift. It was usually red and purple, because a little more feminine in colors.
Wow.
It was awful.
We've struck a chord.
It was awful. No, the chord is strucken all of my life. My poor husband, he's from like Scranton, Pennsylvania, like all those Office people, fans of The Office. He's from there. And if you ever go to Pennsylvania during the holidays, it's a Norman Rockwell painting everywhere. It's beautiful. It's wintry. There's red barns. It's beautiful. And his family like celebrates Christmas starting in July if they can. And poor Philip like wants to start playing Christmas music like around December. And I'm like, you can't until midnight, December 13th. I will not share.
Oh, really? Oh, of course.
Because it's not my birthday. Christmas is not my birthday. Poor Philip. He did abide to my very, very passionate request. He's a very good husband.
That's your love language. You like the acts of service of him. Like that's one of her love languages. And this is actually a really great exercise to do with your friends. Is like figure out what your friends' love languages are. It's not just for romantic partners. It's actually really helpful to know that about your friends.
It's true.
And
she likes compliments.
I love compliments.
Like she needs them.
Like, well, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah. Superwoman, super mama. I mean, now, speaking of which, now shifting this to superwoman, super mama, beautiful little girl. How old is she now?
She's 14 months as of yesterday. Yeah, it's been, she's starting to show a little bit of a temper, and and she has very strong taste buds, and she's like, we're just like, oh, you don't want pesto on your gnocchi, you want marinara sauce. Like it's that specific already.
Like knows what she wants.
Like
she's a foodie already. I like
already. It's just like, wow, wasn't ready for this. And
who does that come from? You or Hari? Like you know what you want.
Well, I mean, I do love food. I cook, but you know, maybe I don't know. I have no idea. But just very strong opinions. So maybe that's just.
Where did she get that from?
That's what I'm asking. Like, where does
she gets it from Gabrielle.
I'll take that compliment.
But part of it, you know, because I was watching on YouTube, you have these wonderful, and what I love is that they're so authentic, real, raw, talking about your experiences of being a new mother and how you navigate through that with everything else, and trying to keep your identity and your goals, you know, because we know you also as this amazing actress. I was just going, FYI, I was going through both your CVs. I was stalking your IMDb pages. And both of you have like creme de la creme acting credits. I was like, these are shows that any actor would kill to be on. Like Pallavi, I mean, Master of None. Hello.
The very good episode she's in. Her scenes are fantastic.
Yeah. And I remember them well because I love Master of None. Love The Night Of. Nurse Jackie, Limitless, Quantico. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I shift over to Gabrielle's, and it's like, okay, obviously Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Valencia Perez, and also Better Things, Modern Family, The Filth. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, between both of you, and then you do all these other things, how do you find balance in your lives?
You know what's funny is like, and I've, you know, she has, with Crazy Ex, like, you know, and with you and your resumes, like what I love to explain to people is that at the end of the day, we are all just really hardworking people. And some of us have been given the blessing of the high profile job that then allows us to like make all of the rest of our platforms flourish in a bigger, faster, more. So, but that does not mean that like the rest of everybody else, like, you know, but we all are in the same circle in a way. It's hard to explain to people. So like, just because I may not be, you know, on the A list quote, I think I try and work that way. I try and live that way. I associate with people who I want to work with and be around. And like, I sort of try and take a holistic approach to every project, every desire, every ambition. Like it's all very equal in my opinion. Yeah. So I don't treat you differently. I don't treat her. I don't treat anybody differently, because we all get that, like when you're chosen, when the gods have spoken and your show gets that green light and gets that, you know, spotlight put on it, then it's just like, are you ready for the opportunity?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Do you, Gabrielle, do you find that, you know, now looking at everything that's happening, I mean, both of you, you've done stage as well. Do you find, like, I feel so much for my theater friends right now, because
especially right now,
it just breaks my heart, because as you guys know, now we're seeing a lot of productions now gearing up to go back to this new norm and moving forward with very strict safety protocols. But for our theater friends, not so much. I mean,
It's awful.
You're back in, like, thinking of Broadway. I'm thinking about my friends in the West End too, and just seeing all these theaters, even local theaters, and how important they play, you know, as far as an imprint that they make in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of jobs lost. It's a lot of lifestyles lost, especially the people that were just making it, and then, like, you know, as well as people that were just starring in their dream show, like what's her name for Tina Turner, the Tina Turner musical?
Yes, Adrian Warren.
She is the hardest worker, the most of stardom people. I've known her for over 10 years, and this is her huge make it shot to play Tina Turner in Tina the musical, and I think they were just barely in previews. Yeah. It's devastating.
And Daniel Watts, because he was playing
Watts.
Ike. He was playing Ike Turner. He was on the show. He was on our podcast, actually. And he's been at it. Like, he's been at it for 15, 16 years, and he's playing Ike Turner in the show. And I check in on all my friends, because at least one a day is moving out of New York City, either temporarily or permanently, as well as, I think there's going to be a lot of, like, depression. There's going to be a lot of identity crisis of what's next. How do people, you know, what are you going to do next? But at the same time, artists are, you know, we are pivot people. We've always had to pivot. We've always had to face that reality over and over and over and over and over. I mean, the 3 Broadway shows I did, I was a replacement. I was like one of the first replacement people, and I always experienced the closing of a show. And so you see the audience at a certain point of the year, and you're like, okay, I give us like 3 more months. You know, like, if the audience isn't coming, the producers are going to shut it down. And so that's the reality of business, show business, right? However, this kind of, like, astronomical, devastating turning point that they didn't even have a chance, like, just like matinees, that matinee on March 13th or whatever day that was, actually, March 11th. I can do you one better. A good friend of mine, Adriana Hicks, we're shouting out names because everybody can go follow these people, because, you know, that's important too. Adriana Hicks was a freshman in college. We met in college. She was a freshman when I was a senior. So she's, like, again, a young up and coming person. She was March 12th, the day that Broadway shut down, was the opening night of her show, where she was the headliner on it.
It's just awful.
And she and I we just caught up about a week ago, because now she's pivoting. She's trying to figure out how else she can serve people and share her gift. And, you know, we got to hold out, obviously. And yes, please call your senators and bring the arts back. But yeah, I mean, she and I are now, like, talking about, okay, so how can we go back to our school and, like, try and help the artists of tomorrow, so that if anything like this ever happens again, that we're a little more prepared. I mean, you can't really be completely prepared, but you can at least arm yourself with tools to pivot a little more seamlessly.
And I think there are some friends that are really happy to be home with their kids, not leaving them at 5 p.m. every day, every weekday, and not being home for the weekends. Like, there's a few, you know, people are starting to accept the new lifestyle that's just being given to them, that they've never had the opportunity to do with the job that they've chosen. So I see that happening.
Even for me, I mean, I could say that, like, who can say that they got to choose to be 100% about their kid within the first year of their life. You know,
you got to look at it that way too. That's silver lining. I mean, I'm grateful that the television world and the film world is able to adapt in some way, but for Broadway to get back, it needs to be 100% safe. And all the audience members are international. You know, and so people travel to see a show, people walk around. It's going to be tough. I mean, the house managers, what are the people that hand out the playbills? Ushers, you know, like, everybody is affected. So there's a really great organization called the Actors Fund that has been creating so many ways to raise money for everyone that's in a crisis right now. And if anyone ever asks me to be a part of a fundraiser for the Actors Fund, it's an automatic yes to raise money.
In fact, our Patreon channel, which is our subscription channel where we do the video version. So Karen's episode is out on video on our subscription channel. And we, we make an annual donation from those proceeds to places like the Actors Fund. So, you know, you can get a twofer. If you guys want to watch Karen's episode, then
the vodcast.
Yes.
Tell us where they can watch the video and subscribe to your Patreon page.
Yes. So
well, we're on our WAF podcast username right now.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Gabrielle Ruiz. This is Pallavi Sastry. We're both, you know, entrepreneurial actresses of all the Star Diva things. However, our podcast is what we're really trying to share. That is our great endeavor during this pandemic. Before we wanted to do it before the pandemic happened. We are so happy we kept doing it even with the pandemic. This is like one of the few times we've been together.
Right.
All at WAF podcast. We've been doing everything virtual. And, you know, follow us and then check out our link in our bio. You can see where our Patreon account is there. And there are $2 options, $2 a month. That is less than a cup of coffee outside your house.
It's less than a Starbucks.
Yeah, less than a Starbucks. And we really just appreciate the support. It's not really to pay us. It's for us to just pay out and also donate out. And just hopefully really, I want to be able to afford like merch.
Right. Right. That's right.
I want stickers.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too.
I want little stickers.
That'd be lovely. Or a t-shirt.
Yes.
Or a t-shirt. I don't know. People need to subscribe to our like $10 one. If we do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're begging for two. Like I am so like shameless when it comes to asking for like support financially, and like $2 people can do.
Yeah.
People can do.
Like we said, save the arts. Like this is our way of just keeping ourselves afloat.
Yeah.
During this time. This time. We're not making a ton of money here. Let's be real.
But it's so wonderful that you've been able, it's this gift of time. It's sort of a blessing in disguise that you've been able to do this. And I feel like, you know, years from now, when we look back on this time, there is no judgment. You know, some people needed to just rest and take a beat, to just catch up with themselves and rest and do things that they never got the chance to do at home. And that's important. But I think as long as any of us can look back on this time, knowing that we did something to help nurture ourselves to get through this, that in itself. Yeah.
No, it's been amazing. I'm telling you, I don't miss going to like Santa Monica for an audition for like 3 lines. Do you? Does anybody else? I'll say it. The self-tape is fine with me.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. And also it's like, and I've also realized more than ever, especially when you go in for like Broadway auditions or theater auditions, and if there's now I know you guys can dance, okay, but I wouldn't call myself a dancer, but I would call myself one that moves.
You're a mover.
Yes.
So I learned the hard way many moons ago when I went to a Tommy casting, and I was put in the group with all the dancers, and I was freaking out. When everyone was facing forward, I was facing backwards. Everyone was facing backwards, I was facing forwards.
So you're in the category of strong and wrong.
Yes. But what I learned from that is that as long as waist up is looking good.
Yeah, just look up here. Just look at my face. Yeah, don't look at my feet. Look at my face.
That's right.
Don't look waist down. And when we're doing self-tapes at home, I'm like, doesn't matter if I'm in trouble. They can't see it. It's just what's happening from waist up that matters.
That's all that matters.
You know, and I realize that now, even doing like these lives or whatever, I've totally run out of my top game. I need to up my top game. Do you find that? Because it doesn't matter what, you know, you can be your PJs in the bottom, but I'm running through them.
Which is what's happening for me right now. But I will say, like, the one thing that I did for my splurge, especially like through my pregnancy, was I still have a monthly subscription to Rent the Runway, so that I don't have to feel like I have to go out and buy new clothes all the time. So I just rotate them every month. Every month I rotate.
Oh, good. That's because I feel like a new wardrobe always creates new energy. You know,
I feel like my wardrobe has been repurposed due to only needing waist up.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like just the 3/4 look, you know? Like I did a game show like a few weeks ago, and we are now in our own little pods, and we have in-ear monitors, and we're not sitting like on a set, like a living room game show set. We're sitting like in our own little desk. And they were like, it really doesn't matter. Like you can be in sweats and Uggs and just like sit there. and just it's all about up here. And I was like, this like changes my entire wardrobe. It just like it repurposes my wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the podcast, since we have like our Patreon video vodcast and we do live shows where it's, you know, on camera, it's been nice to like have something to like get dressed for and wear that blouse that I never wear because I just can't find the right belt for it. You know what I mean? And I just forget it. And it just it's come in handy, I have to say.
I know. Like now I feel like, oh, okay, we're gearing back to go to work, and it's like I'm starting to wear jeans again, which I haven't done in oh boy.
Where are those?
I'm
What's
like,
denim?
oh.
I don't know what denim is.
I know.
Denim is not pandemic friendly.
No.
No, it's not.
It's not. No.
It's humbling though. It's a humbling moment when you put them back on. You're like, oh, so this is what real life is when you put the jeans back on. So that's been really humbling.
Or even heels. Like my sneakers are nailing it. They've been like,
oh yeah.
I got like full black, you know, looking like tennis shoes, like sneakers, and like I wear those every day.
Yeah.
It's fierce.
Well, we had some lovely Q&A questions that came in.
Yay!
For you lovely ladies. At German.Lana Korea fan, she says, what advice would you ladies give a young girl or young people in general to become more self-confident?
Wow. That's a great question.
I would say start small by waking up in the morning and not looking at your phone.
Wow. I don't know if that's small.
Just try that. Just try it once or even 2 mornings in a row. Wake up and go, like, don't pick up don't make the phone the first thing you pick up. Make the first thing you do, drink a glass of water.
You know what? That sounds like a small thing, but it's actually a really big thing.
Is it? Oh, damn it.
Yeah, that is not a small thing.
It's a good big thing.
And I think small, you mean just like it's pretty possible to like do that.
Right.
To try that.
Right.
Like you can.
It's not a mindset thing. It's a literal like action habit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because I think mindsets are harder to adopt than just like taking small actions. Because like for me, I truly believe that physiological things manifest, you know, or like mental things manifest physiologically. So just like forcing yourself to do something different action wise can do something up here, you know.
Yeah, I love that. My mom always says to start your day off with a lukewarm cup of water with lemon. Really good for the liver, cleanse everything out in the morning. It's just like hitting the reset button in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to actually try that where I don't turn the phone on immediately.
Yeah, don't grab it.
Yeah.
And like put it on your nightstand that's like, or put it on your dresser that's farther away from your bed. Do you know what I mean?
I try not to keep the phone in the bedroom. They say you shouldn't, you know, keep all technological gadgets outside of the bedroom. Yeah. That can help you relax and whatnot. So my alarm, I usually have to get up to reach, you know.
Oh, that's brutal.
It is brutal. And I hate it. And I always cuss myself out in the morning saying, why did I do that? But then I know.
Then you're up.
It's like there's 2 parts of me. There's cheeky Karen that says, okay, you're going to get out of bed. You're not going to be on your phone, you know, doing message or whatever work or we're going to put the phone outside. So I've been doing that. And I hate myself in the morning. Every time I have to get up, I'm like, especially if I have Milo, my dog Milo, like plastered around my neck, like sleeping. I'm like, I don't want to leave, but the alarm's going. So
but the alarm's going. Oh, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah. So that's a good one. What about you, Gabrielle? Any things you would suggest for
confidence? Surrounding yourself with people that lift you up. There is power in no, and there is power in if someone around you, whether it's virtual or in person, doesn't make you feel good. There's no need to necessarily like cancel them. There's just they're on our WAF podcast grid. If you go to our page, there's the friendship cake, and Harvey Guillen made this beautiful like analogy description of like where you categorize your friends and what space they get and how much space you have to give those certain friends. Like you have family members and super close friends, like 2 people on the top of a wedding cake. There's like not a lot of people up there. And then the tier then spaces out to like the people that you talk to on a weekly basis that affect your life. And then there's all the other friends.
Yes.
And friends that you're just like, I don't agree with them, you know, in certain ways. And they just, sometimes they don't make me feel good, or they don't make my partner feel good. And I can still love them, but just from over there.
Right.
Over there, you know? And so that for me has made a huge difference to build my confidence that I don't feel like I need to prove myself to someone, or I don't feel like I need to agree with someone. And then I start questioning my own beliefs and my own confidence.
It's finding your voice, you know, and that's something that just comes. I feel like we get better and better at it as each year goes by.
Yeah.
You know, and being kind, you can still be a kind and good person and say no.
And yeah, and then making time to either virtually or in person, depending on your quarantines, seeing people and like getting dressed in the morning instead of in your pajamas. Like for the last live show, I always say the live show that we have on Friday, everyone can join on our Patreon. Every time, like the week leading up to it, I feel like this is what kills me softly, like just, you know, prepping it and prepping the notes and trying to get the list of VIPs and all that. But then I get to the day of and I'm putting on I'm penciling my eyebrows. And I look at myself in the mirror last time and I was like, girl, you can do anything. And it's because like I did my eyebrows and I put on a bra, you know? And so like sometimes that for me builds my confidence, just like before I like start getting on the computer, before I make my coffee, before I pick up my phone, like I get dressed for myself. It's not for anyone else. It's for myself. And it just changes my energy. It changes my tone. And then when the day's done, work is done, and then I can put on my house dress. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Girl, you can do anything. I literally told myself in the mirror as I was doing my eyebrows.
Yeah, that's the new motto. You can do anything.
Do anything.
Yes. Let me see. Well, Rachel does too much stuff.
Harriet. Hi, Harriet.
Harriet. She said, how did you ladies decide to do the podcast together? And what's your favorite subject to talk about?
Oof. That's a two-parter. Well, it started because it started as an experiment with me trying to keep in touch with friends in New York, because I moved from New York to LA, and it was born in a road trip. Like the idea of the show was born on a road trip from New York to LA. And then, you know, being in LA now, I was like, okay, you know, I need a more efficient way to do the show. And so the first person I thought of was Gabrielle, to ask her to come on. And so that's how this whole thing even happened. And then the pandemic forced us to level up and keep going, even though we were like, oh, we were talking about studio spaces and all of this. And we're like, okay, it's okay. We're going to pivot. We're going to make this work. We're going to make it happen, because this conversation is very, very important for right now.
And I think my favorite topic is our ending segment called Lightning Waff. Mm-hmm. Lightning, what are friends for? Sorry, were you done talking about why you started? Okay. Yeah, and so I'm moving on to the second part. And it's Lightning Waff, and we ask the same 5 questions. And so everyone on the chat right now, you guys can answer all 5 questions right now. The first one is,
how long is your longest friendship? So it forces you to go back and think about who you consider your first friend, and if you still keep in touch with that person.
The second one is, how do you keep in touch? Mm-hmm. Like, what's your go-to with friends?
Yeah, whether it's text or Zoom or whatever it is.
Yeah, everyone can answer on the chat right now. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is, what type of friend are you? Are you a, you know, passive friend? Are you the listener? Are you the cactus? I'm a cactus friend, where like you don't need to talk to me every day, but when you do, like I'm there. And you talk to me about like the big stuff.
Yes. Well, and are you a fixer? For me, I very much identify as a fixer, but I also realize that I can't fix everything for everyone. So anyway, that's our third question.
The fourth one is what?
And the fourth one is, what do you want to do better as a friend?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, Karen answered it on the podcast today. You guys can go listen to all of Karen's answers. She doesn't need to answer. She already passed this test. And then the final question is, what are friends for?
I love that.
And those answers are just paramount. I mean, to end the show on that note for everyone, because it's like either one word or this beautiful like soliloquy, you know, poem that people come up with. And it's either like amazing, you know, it's not either amazing or horrible. It's more like it's amazing or heartbreaking or heartful. you know, and you get to really get to know our friends on the podcast. And I love that there's two of us, because some of us make new friends and like, you know, it's either a new friend for both of us or vice versa, half and half. I just love doing the podcast. It really gets me off myself. That's what I love.
Yeah. And I can also see that
To make
when
me feel better.
it goes with everything. When you do something that you love, that passion it just shines through, and it's so magical and truly inspiring. I love that today's tea session we are celebrating it, you know, and that we're talking about the gift of friendship and how important our friendships are, but also to know the ones that we should keep and the ones that don't serve, you know, anymore. And I think that's a tough part, making that you know, knowing the difference, you know, because sometimes, you know, as friends, we just want to always keep giving, but sometimes when is giving too much?
Yes.
The wrong type of friendship. So, you know,
I call it being generous, but not giving away the farm.
You do?
I said that about you.
No, I've never heard the farm.
Yes, you have.
No, I've not.
Okay, you learned something new then.
Well, it's like, what is the, like, you know, you buy the cow if you want the milk.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're both from Texas, but we both did not live on a farm. So I have no idea what's happening.
Do you ladies have a blooper reel?
Oh, I
No.
think, no, we have one from the car ride to Vegas.
Yes.
We have that.
Oh my gosh. Have you posted
Videotaped an entire car ride. We should put that out.
We should put that
We're
out.
going to put that out on our
put it
Patreon.
out.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Because I could just sit here and listen to you two chatting away. And yeah, that'd be really great if you posted your blooper reel.
oh my gosh. Hopefully we can do a blooper reel. That'd be fun, like, of the podcast.
No, we're looking at, we have like all these bonus episode ideas in mind, and we hope to do them soon, because also when our husbands get involved, my husband and Gabrielle have a very brother-sister relationship that she's never wanted. So
I never asked for it.
and that blooper reel is even better.
Oh, I'll bet. Isn't it funny when the husbands come in with our podcast or the live sessions? I know when Carl comes on here, I feel like it's just everyone says, oh, Carl should do the intros more often. I'm like, oh,
You're like, no.
I get it now.
You're like, no, I
Everyone
disagree.
wants Carl intros first. It's always the way. They come in, you know, they make an impact.
I even asked Pallavi once, I was like, we should all do like you know, us and our husbands, like an episode. What do you think? I pitched that for season 2 and she's like, no.
I'd be nervous too if Carl was like handling all of it. I'd be like, where is this going? What is he going to say? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
no.
just like, I know my strengths, I know my husband's strengths, and being on a show that needs to be
30 minutes.
dialed in, and 30 minutes is not his strength.
That's true.
So-
Yeah.
That's true.
An hour's gone by, and it's just like I feel like. So just to recap, where can people follow you, lovelies, and your WAF podcast?
Okay, so for WAF Podcast, it's at WAF Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter, WAFF Podcast, and it's also wafpodcast.com. So that's where you can literally find everything you'll ever need to know, especially our live show on Friday, which we're raising money this month for When We All Vote. And we have a very, an amazing South Asian podcast called The Woke Desi as our collaborators this month. They do amazing work for the South Asian community.
We call our guests our guest friends.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's happening. And then our personals are at Pallavi Sastry and at Gabrielle Ruiz.
Slay.
And you can just, if you find us on Instagram at WAF Podcast, you can literally find us too.
And
So-
we appreciate any patronage on our Patreon. I will say it again and again and again.
$2. $2.
I'm gonna post all the
I have no
details. We also have Emma and Charlotte that do these wonderful bullet posts, so I know they'll
Thank you.
I love you both. You're
Love
just
you.
like
Now, I
magical
know that you
energy.
said at the beginning that you were just like, a lot of things are going on. So we just wish you a happy packing and happy, like, you know, just take breaths, girl. I hope this little like moment, us two have been wanting to come over, but like pandemic just keeps us safe, which I'm glad we haven't.
Yes.
But this was
The
so
movie
delightful.
night.
Yeah, a
But
movie night.
I'll be doing a drive-by soon, and I'll throw this out the window for you.
But we hope you have a stress-free like transition.
Thank you, love. You know what? In all of it, I think you just always move with gratitude, you know, and just say, I'm human. There's only so much I can do, and it'll all be it'll all be good. So,
oh my gosh. Yeah. We wish you the best. Stay safe, my dear. And thank you for being on our podcast. It dropped today, your episode.
So excited. I'm going to post about that too. And I hope every one of you who are watching will tune in, because these two are just magical.
Ooh, let's do a screenshot. Just smile, Karen. Oh, you do it. You have a new phone.
Yes, I have this phone. I have this phone. Okay, here we go. Ready? One. Oh, shoot.
Well, Pallavi,
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
yeah. We
I
love you.
Nodes. Love you, Nodes. And we'll do this again.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.